Set to the side, you'd better run and hide. More to the side, everybody wants to stay alive. Set to the side, you'd better run and hide. More to the side, everybody wants to stay alive. You never stop! What is your major malfunction?
Welcome to the Chab Dog Sports Talk Radio Show. Sunday mornings live from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific. Where spontaneous sports talk, rated R.
Don't make a fuck out of me.
Host Brandon Chabner and producer Eric the Well-Read bring you Brian from Sports Rock.
Say hello to my little friend.
And Tank's West Coast godbrother, Abe Miranda.
See the mess of the true passion of New York.
Plus special guests, music, movie clips, comedy,
So fat, the blood type is ragu.
and always a little politics.
It comes from China.
The live call-in number is 252-585-4120. Join in the fun.
Hello.
And now, here's your host, Chapdog.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Chab Dog Sports Talk. This is the Good Day in Hell show, and we'll expand on why that's being the title for today's show. Got a great show for you today. We are brought to you by Chab Dog Sports Blog for your head of your sports headlines and biting sports commentary, and also by Chabner Law, serving Southern California's business and transactional legal needs, and for your estate planning as well. Check that out at chabnerlaw.com. And I've got a really chock full show here. A lot to talk about. Things are starting to happen in the sporting world with, of course, the NCAA Tournament going on, and all that great entertainment from yesterday. And we can talk about the games today. Eric, here with my co-host Eric Sove. How are you, Eric?
Hey, Chapdog. Misfire. Hey,
Yeah.
Chapdog. There we go.
You sound great as always. And I like the way you got the studio set up here. It's a little bit of a fresh spring look. I guess we're officially into spring, and I'm a little reoriented in this room, but I can see everything, and I'm pretty comfortable. And so I want to thank you for that. And yeah, we got college basketball. We can talk about things that are happening in the NFL. People moving around, new QBs in new places. And then baseball's on the horizon. I don't know what else, but this just feels to me like there's a lot of fireworks in the air. Things may be happening on all sorts of levels, politically, culturally, but I always look at Sunday as a good day in the middle of the craziness that can be the week and the hell that you sometimes go through to get to this day. So that's where that show title's coming from.
Especially with on a tournament Sunday. But, I learned a new word yesterday, Chapdog.
What was that?
Cuomo-sexual.
Oh, I came up with that about 3 months ago. I don't know if you remember when we were talking about.
Then it must have implanted subconsciously in my head there.
I was so fascinated with Chris Cuomo and the way he combines his broadcasting duties with his weightlifting.
Oh, well, this is referring to his brother.
Oh, why? Because of the allegations of the sexual harassment?
Yeah. Well, actually, for the Cuomo-sexuals, which there was a rally yesterday in New York by parties that wanted to see him deposed, or removed, or however,
impeached, yes.
And there was a counter-demonstration by a group of Cuomo-sexuals in support of the governor.
Yeah. They're more like, aren't they Cuomo-philes?
Yeah, could be that. Maybe the combination of Cuomo.
Cuomo-sexual is more you're in favor of his sexuality.
They could be Cuomo-curious.
So there was there any confrontation between the two groups?
Oh, just a little name calling.
Oh.
But we got a great show coming up today, Chab Dog. I just want to let everybody know we got some clips today from Night of the Iguana, the movie Bigger Than Life, Panic in the Streets, Dr. Detroit, The Sopranos, Mississippi Burning, little Bruce Dern and Middle-Aged Crazy, The Conversation. And when we get to do the Prius story, I'm going to play a clip from Maximum Overdrive. So,
I want to hear all about that
today.
Prius
We can talk
story.
about how our brackets busted, and we got jokes galore. But don't worry, we're going to talk about Oral Roberts. we'll cover that coming up. But Chab Dog, we've got a caller.
Okay, well, let's take our first caller. Is this the 858 area code? This looks like Dr. Detroit or Chuck
Hello?
Sabolka. Hello,
Hi.
Chuck Sabolka.
Good morning.
Yes, you kind of sound like Dan Aykroyd in Dr. Detroit.
That's what they tell me. How you guys doing?
Hey, great, thanks.
It's nice to have you back on, Chuck. It's been too long.
Way too long.
It has been a long time. Normally Sundays it's a church day, but it's kind of a strange thing because church is on Zoom, so we don't know if we're coming or going. It's kind of just
course.
that type of a feeling. But yeah,
Can't
but it
you,
seems
yeah,
to work.
you could have church later today after all the games are over. But
Correct. Well, the games are like church for me, especially Abilene beating Texas last night. I was screaming.
Oh,
that was nuts.
Yeah.
But I think that's happened a few times in the last few years that Texas has lost to Abilene for some reason. I think the Abilene really has their number.
Not in the tournament, though. I mean, that's the first time
Yeah.
Abilene's won in the tournament ever.
Right. In the tournament, this has never happened before. But that was so sloppy. I didn't like the way Texas gave that away. I felt like they gave that game away.
Total 23 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's quite a few.
And what I mean, when that's happening to a team, isn't the coach's responsibility to kind of stop things and remind them of what's going on, and to kind of the coach, I think, takes some responsibility for a bad sloppy game like this. What do you think?
He has to. Basketball is a simple game. If you'll pass the ball and hit the open man, and Texas has some formidable people that can shoot the ball. They've got strong inside. They shouldn't have that much problem with a team like that, even though they're very pesky. A 5'7", 140-point guard is probably quicker than lightning, and they're low to the ground, and they're coming at the dribble, so they'll try to create and force turnovers like they do. But just poise and patience, and hit the open man. That's how basketball's supposed to be played. Texas didn't seem to be doing that.
Mm-hmm. But who's the dog in the fight for you now that San Diego State's gone? Who else did you like?
It's my roots, Michigan.
Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
Yeah, I guess most.
Yeah. Even though they lost. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I guess Michigan is probably the college of choice for people that hail from Detroit. Though I could see a lot of Michigan State guys there too, right? Is it kind of evenly
Michigan
split?
State. Normally, Michigan State people will not root for Michigan. Some will do it out of the fact that they're both from the Big Ten, but normally Michigan State people hate Michigan with a passion.
Yeah.
I grew up in Detroit, which is closer to Ann Arbor, but I've always liked Michigan State and Michigan. Those are the teams I followed when I was younger. So, to me, if one or the other is doing good, then it's good to jump on their bandwagon. What makes it tough is when they have to play each other, then they have to flip a coin.
Yeah, so you're really caught in the middle in a good way because you can root for both teams.
Yeah, it's kind of a good thing. So I look at it as a plus.
Well, what's your feeling about this year's Michigan team? Do you think they're really good enough to get to the Final Four?
They're a good team, and I believe that they've got some. They've got a bench. The bench is good, and they've got players that can step in for livers. And it's just a matter if those players are mature enough, which I believe that they are, to handle going in and doing what he did. He's a tough guy to replace. Livers is a leader. He's a good player. And he's a good guy. Everybody respects him. But a lot of times when you have an injury, it's who's next up. And if you've got somebody that's decent, which I believe that Michigan does, they'll step up and they'll fight on. It's just a gut feeling that I have with Livers leaving, because I don't think he's going to be able to play with a stress fracture. I just don't see that.
So who's Michigan's next opponent? Do we know that?
Yes, they're going to be playing LSU.
LSU.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
LSU?
that's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I made a comment about that because LSU is. I know they're good. They're just athletic, aren't they?
They always are.
Yeah, and they came in second in the SEC tournament. They lost to Alabama. They're just they're going to be. That's going to be a much tougher game for Michigan, and I have serious doubts about that. I think I picked LSU. Not that means anything,
Okay.
but
No, I think Michigan will roll right over them, and Michigan will roll over whoever comes out of Colorado.
Colorado's good.
Florida State.
Did you see?
They're okay.
Did you see Colorado play, Chuck?
I've watched them a few times this year. I like Colorado.
Yeah.
One of our kids from Dream Vision, Evan Daddy, he's the center. He's a big dog, 6'8", 265.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
And he's a good, strong kid, junior. And we have a club team called Dream Vision. And the idea behind Dream Vision is to help young gentlemen that are elite get to college on a scholarship and graduate. And a lot of them do. Some are good enough to where they can leave college early and they'll go abroad and get paid. Several of them made the NBA, so it's been kind of fun. And he's the type of kid that could actually be like an Antonio Gates. He could play tight end in the National Football League.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got really good
Antonio
hands. He's a
Gates
big
was
kid.
he was 6'8" or something.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates was a
Yeah.
load. He was a load, man. He just
Yeah.
you paid a price
So
for
this is-
tackling him.
Yeah.
But he had great hands.
So I don't know. Really good hands.
Yeah.
This kid's a really good athlete. Yeah. So it's been fun to see it development.
Well, that's really great,
one
Chuck,
day
that you do
yeah.
that. I mean, that you're helping these people because that's what our society's all about. And you're doing
It's a labor of love. It's a labor of love. We explain to the kids, look, these are some of the things you need to do to be successful, and if you'll do those things, concentrate on your studies. Be smart. Watch
it's
the
a great
girls. They're all
message
after them.
of hope that if people apply themselves and try, and they can actually on their own merits and the strength of their character and what they can do, they can accomplish things, and it's a much more productive message for our society than being a victim and complaining and trying to get things because you want somebody to make it right with you. I don't know. It's just what you're helping us move forward. Maybe I think we're doing what you're doing.
It's a fun thing, and we ask them, please don't speak with agents. If anybody does that, they're going to be divorced from the system. And if they just keep doing the right things, and the only thing we really ask is come back and share with the kids that are 15 and 16 years old and share with how you did it.
Chuck, where do you have this program taking place? Is this in Detroit or is this in California?
No, I live in San Diego, so
Okay.
It's San Diego, Orange County / Las Vegas. We've got, like this past summer at our office, we had kids. We have a half court in the back of our facility with an arena breakaway rim, and they get together and work out. And
Nice.
we had high school kids that were going to be juniors, a couple of them from Ghana, and then one young fellow that's a freshman at USC right now that was from Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got kids from New York and Arizona and Washington that come down. And these are elite kids, and that's what makes up the team. We do have tryouts. Normally they pretty much know who's going to make the team, but you never know. Somebody like a Matt Mitchell comes along, who was player of the year in the Mountain West Conference for San Diego State, and he played just before becoming a senior. So it's 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. And you watch a young fellow develop from age 15, like an Ethan Anderson that plays for USC. He's a sophomore guard, 6'1", 215, and just you see some of these kids, and then you see how they grow and mature, and it's just you know that they're going to make it somewhere, somehow, and then they appear at a college team or appear in the pros, and it just kind of gives you a warm and fuzzy feeling. It's really cool.
Do you have a tight relationship with
see how they grow?
Do you have a tight relationship with any recruiters? Do you have a tight relationship with any recruiters or coaches or coaching staffs that?
Clay, the director of operations, Clayton Williams, does. And we just lost one of our coaches. I called him the fastest man that alive at the time when I played against him in rec leagues. That was Chris Briscoe. He passed on at age 57.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
About a month ago. Died of a heart attack when the Rams were playing.
Jeez.
On Saturday night. Yeah, it's crazy. But those are the guys. I'm indirectly involved through finance, so I help bring money to the table, and that's my participation. But I got when I was in the office this past during COVID, there was nothing for kids to do because no gyms were open, and we were kind of on the fly. But our door was always locked because we're in the gold business, and they would be at the door, and my job was to jump up out of my seat and go unlock the door so they could come in and play basketball. That was one of the best jobs I've ever had. It was a blast.
That's fantastic. You say you're in the gold business?
Yeah.
We're in the gold business. We trade gold, and we're also involved in mining. So kind of keeps us busy. But this past year with COVID, it's there was a lot of irregular things that were happening, just like everybody learns in society, and being on lockdown and staying home, and things coming to a screaming halt in a lot of areas, not just here but around the world. It kind of took its toll, and you just wonder, how does society keep going and keep moving forward? It's almost like we just keep rolling no matter what.
Well,
it never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah, there's a hidden
that's true,
there's a hidden thing going on, which is called more government supported. They're helping us subsist, and they're giving out money, and they're helping keep this thing going. But this is not sustainable.
Well, not a $2 trillion budget's sustainable. No,
I don't think.
No, unless money's become irrelevant somehow.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole economic system.
Unless we really are moving away from the dollar
tossed
to
away.
something of some other quotient of value.
Well,
So-
here's a question for you, Chuck. Since I also follow gold too, and we have a lot in common in that respect, in mining and in bullion itself. But the value of it, it's just gold's just getting back up off the mat after touching 1700. And do you think this would be a time when it would be excelling? Is cryptocurrency drawing away some of the traditional demand for gold right now?
Good question. And I'm involved in a little bit of that just recently. And I look at Bitcoin, and I used to just shake my head, and my initial thought was, how could this work? But what's funny is when you have a lot of interest, like you just mentioned, and I don't think it's detracting from the gold. I think it's addition. One of the things I first thought of is the person that develops a gold-backed crypto is going to be kind of unique.
Yeah, I've known a couple of people to take a run at it, but no one's succeeded yet.
You would think that somebody could figure out how to do that.
There's a miner in Colorado who was stitching together a group of properties and was going to put them into production.
I'm aware of some things too, and I don't know. It's
but I haven't
it's
seen anyone
something
yet.
that's going to happen.
Yeah, and when it does, you're right. That entity's going to be at the right
that
place
could
at the right
be
time.
Explosive. Yeah.
Back it was
when I saw Bitcoin trade on the futures market, I said, okay, this is going to be something. It was very low volume, and the volume's picked up quite a bit. Well, Elon Musk dumping $1.5 billion into Bitcoin kind of certainly solidified its cause for existence.
Little things like that just give people
I
confidence.
Yeah. So that draws publicity, and it raises people's eyebrows, and they're like, wow, there's something to this. And a friend of mine that moved from San Diego to Long Beach, he's a soccer fanatic, and he's a young fella in his mid-30s and still plays indoor soccer, which is a brutal sport in itself. We were sitting at having coffee at a Starbucks, and Bitcoin had dropped from 20,000 down to 3,800, and we both looked at each other and said, "This is just going to be kind of unbelievable." I didn't jump at it. I've got everything tied up in the gold mine, and I think that he did. And now Bitcoin's like at 57,000. So
57.
there's
57,000.
There's
That's incredible.
182
I mean,
it's been over
cryptocurrencies.
60.
I was looking at I was looking at an app, and there's 182
I think
different cryptos, and that's crazy.
I think it's reflecting the loss of confidence in just in governments and political systems and people.
Well, we'll get back to that in a sec. It's a little deeper than that, but
Yeah.
I want to welcome Abe Miranda to the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And you have the right, Abe. You have the right to be Miranda, and
you do not waive your rights to hear Miranda on this show.
know you got the rights to hear Abe Miranda on this show. And Abe, you like myself took San Diego State to go all the way.
Oh, shame!
And both are heartbroken. Tell me, how do you feel?
Oh, well, fortunately for me, I only had enough faith in San Diego State to make it to the Final Four.
Oh.
So I can only say a quarter of my bracket has officially gone to hell. But I still have...
there it is again, the word hell.
But I still have Kansas, I still have Michigan, and I still have Baylor hanging around on my bracket. They're still alive. As a matter of fact, I have Michigan to the Final Four this year.
That's a good pick.
The only thing that I'm, I guess, a little more hopeful is for Kansas. I'm hoping to actually see an upset with Gonzaga. That's what I'm looking for at the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's pulling me through here. Baylor, unfortunately I picked Purdue too, but no, San Diego State fraud.
Purdue,
it's fraud.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do so good and then just die? Just die. Syracuse just bulldozed them, and that was just like wow. You know what? The girls are beautiful, but they're going to San Diego State. That's all I learned. If you're going to make it to the conference, you go lose like that, might as well not even go to that school. I'd rather be out. I'd rather be like me, go to CSUN, where we're nobodies, and we don't even need to face that embarrassment. So it was just terrible. I was hoping for them to at least be our Cinderella story, which obviously was not our Cinderella story. It turned out to be one of the ugly stepsisters, and the shoe did not fit for San Diego State.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? You know who's happy is Frank Fleming because Rutgers won. Rutgers came through.
Yes.
Did you see that?
And that might be our Cinderella story here. I'm surprised, but that was just awesome. And I'm actually looking forward to the Rutgers game.
But Houston's loaded. Let me tell you, they're good. Houston's really good. So I had Houston going to the final.
Well, Tank had Ohio State, but Ohio State went down on Oral Roberts. So Tank's bracket's
Tank had Ohio State, of course.
He had Ohio State.
Despite the fact that he hates Ohio State with a passion.
Mm-hmm.
He was, why'd he do that?
Well, his Oral Roberts really brought Ohio State to their knees.
Yeah, but he had Ohio State going far, it sounds like. You said did he have him winning?
No, he had him in the Final Four.
Oh, so he had him going to the Final Four, which is putting a lot of trust in them.
Did he have them winning out? Do you remember, Abe?
I haven't seen his final picks. I don't think he's released the bracket yet for
it's
he's got to have released it. You can't hold that.
No, I think he had
back.
Ohio State.
You've got to put that out there
Four.
at the beginning of the tournament. Take your medicine if you're embarrassed.
But it's so funny. A lot of people never even heard of Oral Roberts. They were like asking, "Is that like a dirty Sanchez?" When they first heard this team had won.
Oral Roberts has been around forever. It's been around forever.
Everyone knows Oral Roberts now because they have more wins against Ohio State than Jim Harbaugh.
Haven't you ever heard that joke?
Hey, Chuck.
What do you call
Oral Roberts has got more wins than Jim Harbaugh.
Haven't you ever heard that joke? What do you call a couple of gay bobs?
Right.
What do you call a couple of gay bobs, Chab Dog?
Oral Roberts.
Oh, you're going to burn. Yeah, you're going to hell for that. This is the straight to hell
Play
show.
the music then if you want, but...
Yeah, you're going straight to hell.
It's
for that.
Yeah.
That's not politically correct to say that.
When you could say the word gay, you could say that joke. I guess it's questionable whether you can say that. Well, we just said it, so.
I'm really sorry that Moorhead State lost in their match up there because everyone wanted.
Do you want
to
play? Why don't we play that Dr. Detroit clip? We created one just for Chuck since he's such a big Detroit guy. Chuck,
and this was a great but forgotten movie. Oh yeah, we got Chuck here.
Yep.
Hello, I'm Dan Aykroyd, and welcome to this fine motion picture emporium. It's nice to know you're here tonight, rather than at home shoving cheap little plastic cartridges into cheap imported video systems that keep you and your family hostage in your own home or apartment. Now, let's face it, big screen entertainment is what it's all about. We've enjoyed it for years. Movies are great. There's nothing like a good movie, or even a bad one for that matter. Remember the classics, though, such as Dr. No. Dr. Zhivago.
Omar Sharif.
And now, at last, Dr. Detroit. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Oh, it sounds like Chuck.
Clifford Scriblow never expected to be anything but a humble scholar.
Nothing's going to change my life. My life is set.
Until one night, he came upon 4 ladies in distress.
Oh, yeah!
And to protect their honor, uphold the law.
Step aside, lackey, or you'll be eating my food.
And fight for the American way. He became the fancy dressing, flashy dancing, death-defying, jacuzzi dipping.
Don't forget power walking, systems analysis, rock climbing.
Dynamic defender of decency.
Dr. Detroit?
Dr. Detroit. Dr. Detroit.
Hey, what? Dr. Detroit.
I can feel my hair grow.
James Brown was in it.
Get up off of that thing, and you feel better. Get up off of that thing,
Nicholas Penn
Get up off of that thing, and you feel better. Get up off of that thing.
Howard Hessman.
Try to get that pressure. Dr. Detroit. I'm taking
Dan Aykroyd is Dr. Detroit.
This is the best time I've ever had in my entire life. Do you hear me, world?
Now that's how you make a movie.
Yeah, I remember that. Chuck, did you see that movie?
I didn't see it, but that sounds like pandemonium, and I've never been this excited up until now.
Well, you are on the Chab Dog Sports Talk Show. We're going to make it interesting for you.
Yeah, I know.
And you can watch your NCAA at the same time. Are you watching any games right now?
No, I haven't turned it on yet.
Well,
I've got the television on, but I've got
in my house, the TV is on all day on this day. It's just on in case I'm in the room.
Oh, it's fascinating. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh, Loyola of Chicago.
Oh, Loyola.
Illinois.
Holy dog shit!
Boy, wouldn't that be a nice upset?
Yeah, that would be almost like Texas Abilene over Texas. But Loyola.
That would be just as good, and perhaps we can get an interview from Sister Jean at the end.
She's like 101 or something. She's just
she's more powerful than ever.
She never stops and
never stops.
But Loyola of Chicago has had
Pure energy.
They've had a good record in the NCAA, so it's quite likely that I could see that happening. Illinois is a little bit to me a little fragile. I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
Well, they look pretty professional.
That would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they took Drexel to the woodshed, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean they're good and everything, but I don't know if they have enough leadership. And Loyola of Chicago is seasoned. They know how to play in this tournament. They're going to apply the pressure. So you just watch.
One of the kids that was a freshman on that team 3 years ago is a senior now.
Mm-hmm. And that was one tough team in the 3 years ago.
Very tough.
Yeah, they're like Princeton on steroids. Those guys, because Princeton's one of the team that they're one of those Ivy League teams that can hang with the big boys because they've got the system and they're well coached. It's kind of mechanical with them, and I think Loyola of Chicago is a similar type of machine. They're well coached. They're smart. They get the most out of their kids, and they could be very dangerous for an Illinois, which I think at times looks a little shaky to me. That cocky Cockburn guy, he's a physical specimen, but he's also not. He's not really to me a high basketball IQ guy, and they have other guys that kind of play a role, but I'm not sure if they have the leader.
My gosh, look at this. Loyola of Chicago 17, Illinois 10, 10:55 left in the first half.
Well, did Chapdog call that? I didn't know that. I just had a feeling. I just had a bad feeling for Illinois here.
Wow.
So that could be one of the stories of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Illinois beating Loyola.
You heard it here.
This bracket's still working.
What are the other games today that we might want to talk about? Do you have? You can look at the schedule, or you want me to?
Yeah.
Well, I got it right here. We got Baylor, Wisco.
Yeah, Baylor.
That's going to be good.
Baylor and Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin's tough as nails, aren't they?
Yeah, I was very
and
impressed.
Baylor to me is just kind of they're talented, but I don't know if they're gonna they can disappear. So Wisconsin would be a good upset pick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play Wisconsin today.
Yeah, no, they'll take Baylor.
What do you think, Chuck?
I like Wisconsin's discipline, and they can shoot, and they play team ball.
Yeah.
So that bodes well for them.
Baylor's got the individual performers, but and the raw athletic ability, but that does not often in these games. These are pressure cooker games. I would go with Wisconsin. I picked Baylor actually in my picks, but from what I'm seeing now, I think Wisconsin's the smart move.
Well, Abe, when you were in Vegas, did you get a chance to catch some of these games?
You know what? I did. I was able to catch a couple, especially that horrible San Diego State one. Horrible San Diego State one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was able to catch a few games on here on the.
Did you see Baylor or Wisconsin play?
You know, I didn't see the Baylor Hartford game.
Okay.
That was, but I did get to see. I did get to see the Rutgers game, and I also got to see the Illinois game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Clemson.
and that's why right now I'm like, it's kind of weird to see Illinois, be 10 points back because they had such a good game over Drexel. They just snowplowed Drexel.
But it was
Drexel. To 49.
Drexel.
I mean, and then I doubt and then watch Loyola win,
nice.
and then I doubt
Loyola
myself.
just got a nice basket.
Like, what's going on here? Illinois, how did you not make it to the Sweet 16? And that's kind of the beauty of this March Madness. Is just a whole bunch of upsets.
More upsets
things
than
are
normal.
just going nuts.
Particularly this year. I mean, this year seems to me kind of chaotic. You can't trust much.
Well, you're going to get an upset on a 2 and a 15 in a year like this, and we had it. It was just the wrong team. I
think the epitome of this was Virginia just going down. So Virginia got taken out yesterday by Ohio, and Virginia was seeded fourth. They were the last team to actually win, and so they were defending something, and Ohio and part of it was COVID related because Virginia just got here and they had the COVID to deal with, and they couldn't practice properly. But,
they were flat.
The COVID's changed everything, and
speaking of ask Vagina Commonwealth University. They didn't even get to play the game.
That was terrible.
Horrible.
Was terrible. If you thought you were playing and now you can't.
Sorry, it's Virginia. I said Virginia.
Yeah, you're gonna incur somebody's wrath because
Well,
if you were from
Oral
that school,
Roberts?
If you were from that school, yeah. We both will.
Oh, we're already going to burn in hell for their Oral Roberts comments. So.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll piss off the Laker fans later when we talk about LeBron.
What else? What else do you have here?
We got Villanova against North Texas. That should be pretty easy. We got Texas Tech against Arkansas. That should be pretty. Arkansas should knock off Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is a good team, actually.
Really?
They're tough. They went to the Final Four 2 or 3 years ago, and some of those guys are still on that team. Arkansas has never. I don't know.
Yeah, they're an upstart.
They almost lost in the first round. They recovered. I think right now Texas Tech is probably the smart pick in that one.
Okay. How about Florida and Oral Roberts?
Well, that's a really hard one because Oral Roberts is good, and the Florida is turnover prone, from what I hear. But I would, I guess, go with Florida. No disrespect to Oral Roberts, but I think it's probably Florida.
Well, Florida would be the traditional pick there, but hey, it's Oral Roberts, so anything's possible here.
Yeah.
Of course, we got already mentioned Illinois and Loyola, and Illinois is within 7 now.
Yeah.
Then we got Oregon State, the Beavers versus Oklahoma State. So state versus state.
God. I like Oregon State. They're playing well.
Yeah, that's a nice upset. And Oklahoma played Liberty.
Oklahoma State kind of eked out a
lazy
win.
game against Liberty. Then we have Syracuse, who fresh off their win to San Diego State.
Yeah.
Up against West Virginia.
Yeah.
These were
Chuck,
Mountaineers are going to lay the wood, right?
What do you think about that?
I like Buddy. I like this Buddy Boeheim. He's for real. They shoot like they did against San Diego State. They'll win the NCAA championship. I like Syracuse a lot. I thought they were very disciplined.
Yes.
They play together, and that zone, it's tough.
Yeah.
You would think that they egg you on, they entice you to throw the ball to the free throw line. And I'm thinking, why didn't San Diego State attack the free throw line and put somebody in the middle? Matt Mitchell is sufficient enough to grab the ball there, turn around, and if they beat the guards to that spot, I know that Syracuse collapses, but that's how you beat the zone. You have to attack it.
Yeah.
You were just talking about this morning,
I know.
in the green room.
See?
If West Virginia attacks that Syracuse zone and does what they're supposed to do, Syracuse can get beat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very, very intimidating, and even though you go try to attack it, Syracuse has weapons to try to defuse that attack. They're used to that. So I like Syracuse.
Yeah. Syracuse's zone is I don't know anybody in college basketball that does that zone as well, and but if you try to just shoot over it and don't attack it and don't try to penetrate it, you're playing right into their hands. So today though they're playing a crazy team. I mean, West Virginia runs the ball. They're a little out of control. They like fast breaks. They'll try to speed the pace up. So it's just it's a question of what's the pace of this game going to be, and I don't know, man. I really don't know. It could go either way, but I like.
Hey, fucking Tracy.
I like Syracuse's discipline, and Buddy is a great player. And if they slow West Virginia to a crawl, Bob Huggins is going to have a heart attack. He's going to have a heart attack. Huggy.
That brings up our last matchup. Abe, you have a thing for Rutgers, and they're going to play Houston today. Do they have a chance, or is this where they get crushed like Bambi meets Godzilla?
It's just hard to say. I mean, who would have thought? I mean,
Does anybody see my time?
is going. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Rutgers could. I mean, you realize next thing you know, Rutgers is beating Houston, and everybody's brackets has gone to hell even more. It's just this is a wonderful part of March Madness. We don't know. I don't know what to expect tonight with the Rutgers-Houston game. I would think, that Houston would beat out Rutgers tonight. I have Houston in the Sweet 16 in my bracket. So I'm looking for a Houston win for my bracket. But if Rutgers wins, that would be that'd be a good, that would be a nice Cinderella story, at least for Rutgers to make it to the Sweet 16. So, I mean, for bracket's sake, Houston, but for the Cinderella story, it would be nice to see Rutgers, just pull a miracle out. But we don't know. We just really don't make a fuck out of me. So, we'll see.
He didn't really come down on one side or the other. So I think that's
don't make a fuck out of me.
Yeah, that's where
that's all right.
You get a Joe Pesci for that.
He didn't have a good feeling on it. And
no,
I think.
Well, for sentimental reasons, Abe wants Rutgers.
I think.
But his logic, logic's telling us Houston should crush them. But we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no logical things happening. And then tomorrow we got Gonzaga is going up against the remains of Oklahoma. So they should dispatch Oklahoma pretty well.
Oh yeah.
And then Creighton's up against Ohio. What do you think? Neither excite me.
Neither team I like, and I have a good feeling for. But I guess I'll go with Ohio because Ohio beat Virginia.
They beat Virginia, but you just said Virginia was COVID depleted.
And Creighton, I'm really not into Creighton. I didn't see anything to really impress me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that game where they beat San Diego State? No, UCSB.
They beat
the Gauchos.
Gauchos. No, I missed that. It was a 1-point game, and they were lucky to get out of there with a win. I saw the very end.
That's why to me Ohio seems like a better team.
Okay.
Oh, look at that! Loyola Chicago just bulled their way inside. That big white guy there, he's good.
He's big.
Krutwig. he's a big body.
We got the Trojans.
He looks like he's 30 or 35.
He looks like Shaq with white face.
He's balding and he's just. He's a
Shaq was a white man.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. Yeah, Herman Munster.
Illinois doesn't know what hit him.
So Abe, we got USC. We got a California team is going up against Kansas. I like USC's chances there. How do you feel about that?
Oh, well, I got Kansas. I got Kansas all the way as my final pick this year. So
are you kidding?
USC's got to go. We got to knock them out, and that's what I'm looking for.
How is that possible? Tank didn't talk you out of that? Because Tank is always complaining that he's picking Kansas, and they always F it up.
They wet the bed.
Well, we'll see. I mean, but no, you know what? Sometimes it's good to pick against Tank. It's you don't know what the strategy should be. Sometimes you're like, should I be with Tank? Should I go against Tank? I don't know, because sometimes Tank gets it wrong. So
yeah, right.
And a lot of times it's more often than not that he gets it wrong. So I don't know. I don't know if he picked USC. I know my dad; he's a huge USC fan, so. He'll be definitely putting on his Trojan gear tomorrow for that game. But Kansas, all the way.
All right. Yeah, and it is good to fade Tank, by the way. More often than not, it's proven to be profitable. Then we have Oregon. Oregon, and coming off a no-game win against Iowa.
Yes. Well-rested Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And Iowa.
Against a much better Iowa team.
Iowa's a good team.
Yeah, they ought to flatten Oregon, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I'm going to take Iowa. I don't have a good feeling about Oregon. They lost to Oregon. I mean, Oregon's. It's hard to say though because the Pac-12 is playing better.
It's weak, yeah, but they're weak. Except for USC, who's going to beat Kansas. Sorry,
I give Iowa the home. Court advantage.
I got Kansas, Iowa on that 16.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about we got Iowa? No, it's Iowa. Michigan against Colorado. Sorry, LSU. Michigan's going to play LSU.
Yeah, we already talked, I think, to some about that.
Yeah. Okay. Then we have Colorado versus Florida State.
Oh, is Colorado and Florida State?
Yep.
Oh, I had Florida State in the beginning of the tournament going pretty far, and so I had them winning this game. But the way that the teams are playing right now, that Colorado could definitely take that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go with Colorado based on what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just Colorado's strength is, and they're just becoming a force with their defense, and they're shooting lights out. I mean, I've never seen a Colorado team look this good. So, Chuck, have you watched Colorado at all?
I like Colorado and our boys over there. And getting back to Antonio Gates, he was a better basketball player in high school than a football player. And what's interesting is Antonio Gates' son goes to the school I went to school back in Detroit, Dearborn Fortson, and Kentucky's looking at him for football. So
that'd be pretty cool.
I like Colorado.
They look good, but I don't see them beating Florida State. Florida State
Florida State's the power, but
yeah, it's coming from the East.
Great coach also.
Leonard Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a good coach in general, but I remember what he did in the last Final Four where I thought he just gave the game up too soon. I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but he was criticized for that, and he never really explained it. You know, you're always fighting in a game, and he stopped. They stopped fouling. They stopped really trying to get back, and I think it was within like 4 points or 6 points in the NCAAs.
I remember that.
You remember it? Yeah.
He gave up with a minute left. I do. Yeah.
Like,
he just kind of threw in the towel. We won't foul. We won't go after it. They were nonchalant and let the time slip away.
So a guy like that, I just don't trust. I have a basic distrust of him, and so I think it would be a pretty good bet to put your marbles on Colorado if there was a risk reward commensurate.
Well, it seems to me, Chab Dog, that he should have been confronted, just like Tony Soprano confronts his mother.
Janice, is that you down there? What are you doing up so early?
This is a
Mom,
great
go back to
contraption.
bed.
It goes up and down stairs in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
remember
looks
that?
don't know what
the
happened
president
to
could
me.
use one of these, huh?
I had the strangest dreams all night long. People coming and going.
And what's the big
coming
deal?
And going.
So what
I
if we
couldn't
have a
get up off
president
the
that's in a
bed.
wheelchair? We had Roosevelt for God knows how many years.
They hid that.
Tony, Anthony, what are you
People didn't
doing
know
here?
that?
They really hid it. They never showed him his smoking.
Wow.
Nothing.
It's like
Come
they
on,
never showed
Janice,
Obama
let's go.
smoking.
Richie didn't come home last night. She's worried about him.
Oh, sure. Probably jilted her. That's the story of her life.
Oh, this is after she killed him? I think, yes.
What kind of a fucking chance did she have
after she
with
shot
you
Richie.
as her mother?
Language.
You're always
Where-
nagging
where
her
your mother?
about her weight.
You dropped
She
your
goes out on a
for your
date, she
mom?
comes home, you call her a fucking tramp.
I'm on the way out in the
Very
car.
hard.
I never said anything of the kind.
I heard you.
You make things up. You tell me. Now, you tell me when I ever did anything to any of you.
You don't know, do you? You don't have a fucking clue.
I wasn't always perfect, but I always tried to do the best I could. And I know you didn't. Any of you didn't like it when I tried to tell you what to do. Babies are like animals. They're no different than dogs. Somebody has to teach them right from wrong.
Evil babies.
But I was your mother. Who else was going to do it? If you ask me, I did a pretty damn good job. That palace you live in, up there on that hill.
Now she's taking responsibility for his gangster winnings.
I gave my life to my children on a silver platter.
A silver platter.
I suppose now you're not going to kiss me.
What?
You're cruel. That's what you are.
She's going for
Really
it.
freaked him out.
Oh, fuck this.
Oh, no.
Ooh, Joe Biden moment.
Tripped down the stairs.
She's laughing.
Fell. His gun falls on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's a good confrontation.
Well, she just got up out of the chair like no problem.
Well, she just doesn't like doing the stairs, that's all.
She just doesn't want to have to do the stairs.
No, he wants to do stairs.
So why couldn't he do that? Why couldn't the president do that?
A chair?
Just use a chair going up and down the stairs.
Hey, it's the 21st century. Why not?
It's just a delivery device.
It doesn't look manly.
We're so concerned about
Putin will be
optics now.
laughing at him.
Remember the good old days when we were laughing at Gerald Ford right and left?
Oh, yeah, Gerald Ford.
We have Gerald Ford teed up, too.
Where'd he go?
This is back when Saturday Night Live was amazing.
Yeah, this is the
Gentlemen, the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, I have called upon the networks tonight to make two pressing issues clear to the American public.
Season his tie.
Number one, the possible default of New York City. And number one, my stand on the Ronald Reagan announcement.
His voice isn't high enough.
Hello.
Dump the glass into his ear.
Hello, Nesson. I can't hear you. What, are you in the pool? I guess the other phone's ringing. I don't know. All right.
Press secretary.
Firstly, the default of New York City. Let me be clear on my feelings about this. As president, I will change my mind wherever I want.
You're Gavin Newsom.
Hello, hotline.
Tony Romo.
Anwar, just a second.
Hotline.
I'm on the air right now. I'll get you kissing girl, okay? Hank, can you talk to Sadat for a minute? Thank you.
On the hotline.
Before they had speakerphones.
The point is, do I really know what the issue is? Relevant, irrelevant, fault, default. These are just hard words.
Ford as a switchboard operator.
Yes, Hank.
Receptionist.
All right, I'll talk to Anwar. All right. Okay.
He hangs
Anwar.
up on the wrong phone.
Hello.
He wonders what it was.
Hello.
Yeah. He hangs it up on the wrong phone.
Now they're both hangs up wrong.
The bailout bill now before the House of Representatives does not address the current situation, and I would veto it. The current situation being that the longer I hold out on New York City, the better chances I have with those conservative Republicans who might otherwise support Ronald Reagan. Pretty smart, eh? Which brings me to my first point.
He's coming back to his first point.
Let's take a look at the recent popularity polls, shall we?
Slams his head in the desk.
Sorry, not all this is visual.
As we can see, the
He's looking at
Ford popularity is
chart,
certainly on a sharp
chart.
rise here.
Turned it the wrong way.
So it's
Whereas
on the ground.
Right.
Falls over his desk. Live from New York.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Yeah. That was really unfortunate. I mean, that's, we all trip up. I trip upstairs. I mean,
Yeah, and he was a great athlete, actually. He was an excellent lineman, offensive lineman. He obviously had coordination and physical ability. He just got a bad reputation.
Gerald Ford was also played for Michigan, too, didn't he?
Yeah. You knew that, Chuck, right?
Yep.
But Joe Biden, I think about people that that trip upstairs like that 2 or 3 times, and I think they're probably on edibles. But I don't think Joe Biden is. But he's probably on some kind of
he's
similar
old.
type of drug.
He's getting old.
So it's you don't think it's drugs? It's old age, or maybe it's old age and drugs together.
Who knows? Could
just
be
an
both.
accident. Oh, you know what? I'm just willing to call it an accident.
He's just slowed down, and it's tough on a person that age to have to do what he's doing. I think it is.
Look, his President Harris is really good.
I mean, I'm just talking about his.
He's got a good president.
His condition, to me.
No, he
I
just got
wonder
caught
why
wrong
he's doing it, because it seems like it's hard on him.
Well, because he doesn't know better,
and he's now trying to figure out when to do a press conference.
Well, he's going to do one this Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as it happens sometime this century.
Yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, he can set a new record if he wants for talking to. I mean, the press. He doesn't have to talk to the press. I mean, they pretty much give him a pass on everything anyway. Like the border.
It's just reassuring to everybody.
You been watching the news at the border this week?
Our president's functioning.
Well, he's functioning. For sure he's functioning. He was in Atlanta. You know, he was doing a victory lap for Operation Warp Speed. And then he went to Atlanta. Gave a good speech there on Saturday morning, him and the vice president, about this whole nonsense about anti-Asian racism has got to stop.
The wave of Asian violence that's infiltrating our country.
Yeah, he said that lady in San Francisco, she beat the snot out of some white guy who was some white homeless guy who was harassing her with a stick. He had to go to the hospital.
Some white homeless guy. Like they don't harass everybody.
That's true, but in this case, he was harassing a
you're gonna turn this country upside down because of what some homeless guy said. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's like connecting up. I don't want to go. I mean, to some of the things, the crap that's being floated out there.
Like what? Go there, step in it.
What? I just don't. I don't buy these connections that they're trying to draw between all these bad things that are happening and things that President Trump's was responsible for.
No, just saying that the virus came from China or calling it the China virus or using that as an excuse for why people do racist actions against Asians that's so simplistic it's ridiculous. I mean, that was.
Maybe
racism's been around long before Trump said that, and racism will be around afterwards.
Maybe this was a deranged Patriots fan who was upset about what happened to Robert Kraft at the Asian massage parlor.
Well, and another,
this is turning into some kind of indictment of people that go to massage parlors.
Oh, it is.
I mean, it's the idea of an Asian massage parlor is said to feed into all these stereotypes of Asian women. As being it's sexually advanced and whatnot, and I mean, come on, this.
Well, and
you're going to try to clean our society of all of these things that are.
Well, let's shine. I'm really glad you brought that up because let's shine the spotlight on that because nothing could be further from the truth from what you just said, even though that is kind of a perception out there that some hold, and that is that these Asian massage parlors are staffed by women that come over here. Very poor women, impoverished women that come over here from Korea and China under arrangements. We have no idea what those arrangements were, but it sure sounds like human slavery to me. They come over on tourist visas, and they're made to work. And these places are run by Asians as well. They're imported, so it's a racket. This is a human trafficking racket. And I'd like to see it stop, actually.
Well, that's a different argument.
Well, that's the truth, but now we're talking about, instead of talking about the truth, we're saying it's being, the press is, everything's being deflected. This was a racist act, and we're all against racism, which we are. I mean, it's Black Lives Matter too, but the truth of the matter here is that there's a whole exploited underclass of women here. They're being exploited by this Chinese slave machine, sexual slave machine here, and that's got to stop. That ain't American.
Okay, well, it's a different argument, I think.
Oh, it is. They're not making it. You're absolutely right. They're not making that argument at all. It's being completely lost in the shuffle here.
I don't know how we got onto the subject, but
well, you brought up politics, so.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
Oh, we don't mean to offend. We're just we covered on this show. We cover both ends of the spectrum, and our opinions are open to change with new information and new ways of seeing things too. We're not held fast in our ideas so much that we can't examine a new idea.
Yeah. So are we at the 9:59 point?
Oh, we are at the 9:59 already. Jeez.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we hit the 1 hour mark. I don't know. I hope we got to talk about everything you wanted to talk about, Chuck, and we'll be on for another hour. And
you know what? I'm a good listener, and I enjoy listening to you guys. You guys bring up a lot of good stuff, and you're excellent. I'm going to be back. This has been fun for me.
I've
got to
go
to church now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this hour flew by.
But you know what's nice is that Loyola is up 9 at halftime, so we can take a
right. There you go.
Yeah, we can take an upset with us here.
That was a little kernel of knowledge that you would have gained.
I would like to see them win the national championship.
It's a good program, isn't it? And those are good kids, and a lot of people want the best. I mean, they have a soft spot in their heart for them because of what they did before, and it would be a real beautiful upset, I think. I'm sorry if you're in Illinois.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you next, whenever you want to call in. If you want to stick around, we'll be back with the next hour of Chab Dog Sports Talk.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chuck, and thank you, Abe. And we'll be talking to you and Brian on the other side here after the break. So go make yourself another cup of coffee. We're going to play some ads and play some clips and be right back.
We're told that greatness is exceptional when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit DefyLifeGear.com to get fitted for greatness.
The law office of Brandon S. Chabner, serving clients in Southern California with transactional legal services since 2007. We handle general, corporate, outside counsel type work, drafting and negotiating a wide variety of business and commercial contracts, including non-disclosure agreements, independent contractor agreements, and employment agreements. Our experience includes working with public and private companies and involves a broad range of industries, including healthcare, consumer products, real estate, and high technology. Mr. Chabner has over 20 years of legal experience, having worked for some larger national firms and serving as general counsel for a multi-million-dollar private company here in Southern California before starting his own legal practice. His educational credentials include a law degree from UCLA, where he was on law review, undergraduate degree at Yale, where he graduated magna cum laude, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Other areas of focus for Chabner Law include press release and business plan editing, pre-litigation matters, and debt and mortgage resolution work. You can contact us at 310-698-0740 and at bchabner@chabnerlaw.com.
Like Chab Dog said, he was 100% right.
He can take all comers.
I'll show you. I'll show you all. You can't say that I was defrocked. I'll show you. I'll show you.
Well, if you're not going to eat him, I guess I better see about some food. What's this mess supposed to be?
Soup.
Well, it's burnt. Chang, I've warned you before. I don't allow this stuff on the premises even if you're on vacation. You remember the time you got in the enchiladas? What are you going to do with them dogfish?
Me do nothing. Me on vacation. Pedro can fry with a plenty chili, make hot.
Why not steam it, Mrs. Falk?
No guests allowed in the kitchen.
Mayn't I help? Please let me. I was born and bred in the fishing port of Nantucket, and I've cooked every kind of fish that swims in the sea, except whales, but they're mammals.
I know what you're up to, honey. You want to make yourself useful, so I'll let you and old Gramps stay on here free.
Oh, I wouldn't do anything so obvious. Not with a woman of your practicality. No, my wanting to help in the kitchen. May I have the knife, please?
Matrete.
It's just that I've noticed a certain animosity towards Mr. Shannon among the ladies in his party, particularly in the case of Miss Fellows, and I think with a soothing meal inside her, it might soothe her spirit.
Miss Jokes, honey, you're a hustler. A fantastic, cool hustler. You're completely broke, huh?
Yes, we are, completely.
You say that like you're proud of it.
And I'm not proud of it or ashamed of it either. It just happens to be what's happened to us.
Meyuguachi. You know what that means?
No, I don't think I do.
It's Chinese for no sweat. That Chinese cook says it. Old Fred used to say that those 3 words summed up all the wisdom of the East.
Fred?
My husband. My late husband.
How lately did you lose him, Mrs. Falk?
3, almost 4 weeks ago. Maybe it hasn't dawned on me yet, old Fred being gone for good. Just seems like he's out fishing. He was always out fishing anyhow. And he hardly ever opened his mouth, except when he got drunk and sang songs. He'd lie out there in that hammock and drink and sing all night long. And no guest ever complained either, or I showed him the straight way down the hill.
I'm sure you would.
I loved old Fred. Wouldn't anybody guess the way I carried on, except Fred, he knew. You see, he was 28 years older than me, and we hadn't slept together in I don't know when. Fred used to say he guessed he was impotent. But if you ask me, honey, he just plain lost interest.
What other interest did he have, Mrs. Falk?
Only fishing. He'd catch 'em, throw 'em back in. As he swallowed the hook, then we'd have 'em for supper. Fred lived and let live.
Meyuguachi?
Like when I had them beach boys. Fred care? Did he raise hell when I started going night swimming with him? Hell no. He just went night fishing all night long.
He must have been a remarkable man.
You said it. And people with troubles, and that's everybody, used to come and spill him to old Fred, and he could listen forever. And he was better than any head trigger because he knew what was bugging you even before you told him. That's why Shannon always made for Miss Malloy when he was spooked. I remember one time, he came down here out of season like now, and I went on the make for him. But Shannon wasn't having any on account of his friendship with Fred.
Well, they're all ready for steaming.
So was I, Miss Juggs, honey. So was I. I couldn't tell him that Fred didn't give a damn. Didn't seem fair to Fred.
You know, I think you're quite a remarkable person, too, Mrs. Falk.
Don't you try to con me, honey. I understand me. And I still got my biological urges.
The Beach Boys.
Yep. But even I know the difference between loving somebody and just going to bed with them. Even I know that.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Anderson, why don't you say hello to our mayor, Mr. Tillman here?
How do you do, Anderson?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Barber. Well, this looks like the place to be. Even for me. Yeah. Nothing like a barber shop for jawing your socks off.
Where you from, anyway, Anderson?
Thornton, Mississippi, sir. Just a spit from Tennessee.
Well, then you must know how we all feel down here. We don't take to outsiders telling us how to live our lives. And I'm here to tell you our niggers were happy till those beatnik college kids came down here stirring things up. Before that, there wasn't anybody complaining.
Nobody dared. We got a real peaceful little community down here, Anderson. Of course, they're just like any other folks, I reckon. Push them too far. Well, I figure it's like 3 sticks of old dynamite. You shake it up, and we're gonna be scraping bodies off the street.
I'm just down here to investigate the missing 3 kids, ask some questions.
Oh, if it's all boiled down to
Davis was
gravy,
on our show. Yeah.
it wouldn't be enough to cover up a chicken fried steak.
He
Them kids you're
makes
looking
his
for,
living
I just about bet you a shiny new dime. They're setting up in Chicago right now, drinking a cold beer.
He's
and
very
having
good
a
on
big
TV.
laugh
I'm very
about
impressed
all the
with him.
commotion they've stirred up down here.
Well, I sure hope so.
That's the important things.
Or you can tell your bosses,
It's kind of style.
people got the wrong idea about the South. You know what I'm talking about.
We're listening to Mississippi Burning right now.
Around ragged, backwards, illiterate,
We're watching
eating
half
sow
the
belly
show
and
on
corn
CBS.
pone 3
So
times
you think
a day.
that's Sergeant Hardman from
Simple fact is,
Full
Anderson,
Metal
we got
Jacket?
2 cultures down here. White culture
Does kind of
and the
look
colored
like him, sound
culture.
like him.
Now, that's the way it always has been.
It's the hairstyle.
That's the way it always will be.
The rest of America don't see it that way, Mr. Mayor.
The rest of America don't mean jack shit. You in Mississippi now.
Holy dog shit! What's the score, Mr. Barber?
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis on top, 5-0.
What inning is it?
Bottom of the 7th.
You like baseball, do you, Anderson?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's the only time when a black man can wave a stick at a white man and not start a riot.
What do you think? Greg Gumbel, is he looking a little old now? Been looking at him for a long time.
Yes, he is, and we're back.
We're looking at the basketball pregame at the half show for AT&T.
Looking at the aged Gumbel there.
Yeah, the aged Gumbel, and he's the brother of Bryant Gumbel,
He's the one I was first to became accustomed with football. He was on the NBC.
Oh, they both got really good voices.
Uh-huh.
He still has a really good voice. It's more just looking at him, I think.
That's because you remember what he looked like. If you'd never seen him before, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, and it's just weird sometimes when you look at somebody and how they're aging, and because it just makes you think about you and how old you're getting. You know, like it didn't seem that long ago that Greg Gumbel looked kind of youthful, and now that's no longer the case, and I'm 55 years old. Depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll survive.
I'm digressing as usual. It's kind of like a therapy session in a lot of ways, which I apologize for. It's just things come out.
That's why it's your show. You can have your therapy session. In a sense, Tank has his therapy session because he gets to vent on the Mets when he does Let's Be Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And Abe, I was really excited here in the second hour to ask you. I noticed last week you went to Las Vegas. What was the occasion?
Well, the occasion was that it was spring break. First of all, I'm going to see Sun right now. So, woohoo, Big West. Yay, you see Santa Barbara, you suck.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, because of March Madness,
mm-hmm.
and, we haven't gone to Vegas since February of last year, right before the pandemic hit. And so we thought, well, maybe now that, it's kind of middle of the week and maybe it won't be so bad. But I will tell you, it was about 85% of what it was prior to the pandemic. It was pretty crowded. I think the valet driver told me this is the most crowded he's seen it since the pandemic started.
Uh-huh.
Some of the shows are coming back. Some of the bars are open. Actually, I think the bars are open. They just put plexiglass between the bar stools there. So I mean, it's starting to come back.
Yeah, it looked your shots of the senior there looked like it was busy as it always had been. It really didn't look that much different. Now at the blackjack tables, were they full or was there a seat empty between people?
What they did was at the tables and even the crap table, what they ended up doing was they put like a plexiglass between each stool. But it's open.
Okay.
Just stick yourself in a queue and you're good.
Okay.
Are people walking around in masks?
Well, here's the thing. So the way it works in Vegas is that obviously you can drink on the strip. So if you're holding like a drink and you're drinking or you're smoking a cigarette or in this case a lot of, marijuana, then they're not wearing masks. For that, and so as long as you're kind of either doing something, then you can't really wear a mask. So it's kind of loosey goosey, you could say. Now inside the casino, they do expect you to wear a mask when you're at the tables or at the slot machines. They do expect you to wear a mask if you're walking around. Security will say something if you're not wearing a mask. Except for if you're drinking or if you're smoking.
Yeah.
Because you can still smoke inside the casino, then you're okay.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah, so as long as you're ruining your body with smoking, it's okay.
You can have that mask down if you're
You don't need a
consuming
mask.
alcohol at the table or smoking. You can have the mask down.
Yeah, it's kind of like
the way it goes.
It's kind of, you know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like the college basketball rules, because the coaches are allowed not to wear their mask over their nose or in their mouth, and or if they're standing up acting like they're making a difference and chattering about something. And even when they're sitting down, if they're talking to their assistant coach, they got a reason to be talking, then they can have that mask off. It's really kind of ridiculous, because some of them wear the mask like 5% of the time correctly. There's the UCLA coach is one of the worst. He's one of the worst offenders of this. He's got this baby mask. It looks like he got the mask at Baby Gap. It's a really funny looking situation.
Really?
The mask just won't fit on his mouth.
I'll have to have a good look at him tomorrow.
Yeah, so.
Well, Abe, what was the capacity in the indoor restaurants there? Were they open and serving people?
Yes, they were. They were open. They were serving people. They're. I would say, I went to a Crackle Barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Crackle Barrels.
Yeah, go ahead.
What'd you order?
Oh, those are great.
You know what? I got the sampler plate.
Nice.
So it got me some bacon. It got me some honey ham. It got me a little sausage. It got me.
You got the whole schmear.
Grits. Some fried apples.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just
a good
good.
sampler.
Just good.
But
you can eat inside.
Is
you
that
can
under
eat inside like normal human
Okay.
beings?
Mm-hmm.
You can. I would say the only thing would be is you imagine a Crackle Barrel, and then you just put a table every 6 feet inside the Crackle Barrel.
Uh-huh.
That would be basically your capacity.
Okay.
Inside the restaurant.
Okay, so they're observing spacing.
It depends, though, where you are. This was in California, or where was
No,
it?
this was in Nevada.
Oh, Nevada.
Oh, in
okay,
Nevada.
so Nevada, they're being careful about spacing.
Because
That's-
when I went to Las Vegas. Mhm.
Yeah, because you get a Cracker Barrel in Florida or Tennessee. It's a lot different than your.
Oh, are they full?
They're going to be operating pretty much normally.
Well, Texas, I guess.
Yeah, there's no
Yes.
separation. It's just more normal. Just maybe fewer people.
Yes, well, for us California folks, like being able to number one, being able to step into a Crackle Barrel is already a gift from heaven, because we don't have that many Crackle Barrels in California.
They're hardly here.
No.
Maybe like two.
In the
I
South,
don't
they're
know how
all
many
over the
Crackle
place.
Barrels
You
we
can't
have.
miss them.
Not enough.
One in Montana.
And then also it was nice to eat inside, because we had been stripping of those liberties for a long time here.
Yeah.
For a
it
long,
was
long time.
like a double layer cake for me going in a Crackle Barrel.
Can you eat inside now in Orange County?
25% capacity. So
Oh.
limited indoor seating.
So technically, yes.
So back in October when we went to that Mexican restaurant, we could do that again now.
Oh.
So we're open to that level of capacity, and maybe we'll be open a little bit more.
That guy is good. That center, the white center. Oh my God.
Oh, that massive guy on the
Yeah,
right.
he's
number 25.
surprisingly
Lurch.
nimble. He's nimble. He's not a lurch.
Ooh, look at that.
He slipped under the other guy and got in that goaltending. It's a good play. So
yeah, it's and again the state opens, as we saw a little bit more this week. The door cracked a little bit more open, Abe, and but then the recall also is coming down the tracks, and they've already got 1.2 million of the 2 million names verified for the recall. So it's any day now. It'll be certified.
Going through.
That's going through.
There's going to be a recall vote.
So we're going to have a chance to question the governor's leadership.
How does this work? There's going to be everyone's going to get a choice to either.
So just like last time, if you remember, and if you don't, then here's how it was done last time. You'll on the ballot, it'll say it'll be one question: do you want to keep or recall Gavin Newsom? And you check yes or no. And if you check yes, then the second question is who would you like to replace him? And there'll be a list of 50, 100 names, and you just check out the name there. And then the two people who have the highest amount from there, unless somebody gets over 50%, but nobody will then run off against each other just like Cruz Bustamante and Arnold Schwarzenegger did. And then, as you know, the outcome there, Arnie won the governorship. So that's how it's going to go down.
There's no wait. Did you say is there going to be an actual recall vote where they ask me, do I want to recall the governor or not?
Yes, and that's done on the same ballot as choosing his replacement as well.
Oh, so
it's a dual duty.
The second vote could be irrelevant based on what happens with the first vote.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. So that's going down.
So yeah, that's coming down in our future.
Mm-hmm. And then Cuomo news this week. It was just more women came forward. No surprise there. He's still being intransigent. He's still going to camp out there. He's come this far.
Well, maybe he figures it's just going to play this thing out, and if the investigation goes against me, I guess then maybe I resign.
I suppose that's his
But
game
why not
here.
Just make it play out now.
Or he could have his staff to continue to dig up dirt on the women accusing him, which is what they've been caught doing. It's not a good look.
Ridiculous, all the people.
Yeah, but he's a New Yorker. He's a scrapper. He's not going to give up. He's just going to say, yeah, you want, you got to make. I'm not leaving. You got to make me leave. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just being nice to the girls. That's all. This is the Cuomo way.
I'm making conversation.
I was making conversation. If anyone felt uncomfortable about it, hey,
yeah,
I'm
if
sorry.
it's just like things that they said he said, as opposed to things he did. That's makes things a little different. Oh,
Chab Dog, he was just checking to see that they were eligible for promotions.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. So he's continuing to cry. Oh, and then of course we have a news story this week. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I haven't been following that.
Abe,
at all.
did you hear anything about that story?
No, I haven't. Go ahead.
Okay.
Some people are suing him, right?
Well, so early in the week, it just broke that there was the possibility that someone was going to file or make public that she'd been sexually assaulted by him.
Somebody else on the line?
Not right now.
It says plus 18858.
Well, that might be.
Is that Chuck again?
Maybe. Anyway, back to anyway. So a woman came forward with allegations that while giving him a massage, by the way, that he had acted inappropriately with her, and then as the week went on, 5 more women came forward with similar complaints, saying that they were hired to do massage and that he either made them he forced them to perform oral Roberts. So if it was 1 or 2, you might think, he could skate that. But when it gets to be 6, 7, and there's apparently more coming forward, there's an avalanche coming forward. Even Governor Cuomo had to say that it looks like a setup. But
do we have anything more damning than this?
The just 7 or 8 women coming forward and saying
the massage ladies.
The massage ladies.
Mad at him. I thought these were actual people that were doing like governor work for him.
No, this is Deshaun.
Administrative work.
This is Deshaun.
Oh no! I'm mixing up Cuomo and Deshaun.
Well, Cuomo came to his defense.
What's he being attacked for? That he hired masseuses and they got exploited?
Yes.
I don't know.
Is it 22 now? Okay, I was just told the number has gone up to 22.
Okay,
hey,
well,
Abe, do you think there's some fire there to go with all that smoke?
A serial exploiter,
maybe.
If he was doing all this, why didn't somebody say something earlier? It sounds like it's an been ongoing for a long time.
That comes to question that why wasn't it mentioned earlier. But that being said, you never want to blame the person who was attacked.
I mean, I really don't understand.
They may have been traumatized from this, so that's a possibility. So you got to leave that door open.
I don't know. I'm not. Why even comment on it? I don't even know.
The guy's a millionaire and can have anybody he wants fluff him. So why would he be coming on to women in vulnerable positions?
This is like lawsuit stuff. This is not nobody's. The police aren't coming after him.
Well, they're going to pursue some investigations that may or may not be able to bear fruit, but.
Yeah.
But that being said, just like was it Ray Rice? got caught.
Ray Rice is caught on videotape beating somebody, I think, or hitting somebody. Yeah.
And he said he was sorry, and his wife said, okay, don't hurt us because it's going to hurt our income, and he's never worked a day again. And this might be the end of Deshaun. This might be the end. I mean, that's maybe the Texans knew this was coming, and that's why they were disrespecting him and putting him in a, not treating him right, not consulting with him with coaches and stuff, because maybe they knew he was gone. He's the only, that looks like a distinct possibility now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how this plays out. I don't know what kind of proof anybody has of whatever they're saying. The proof may be, I guess, in the number of people that are
if you get
coming against him.
A couple of dozen women come against him. That's a big problem, Chab Dog.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's pretty hard to...
That's the proof right there.
That's the proof. Yeah, the proof is in the numbers. Unless you can prove every single one of them was... Yeah, but it's not...
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this... looks like kind of like a glorified class action.
Kind of.
Where a bunch of people with the same exact claim are coming against somebody in civil lawsuit.
Yeah, these will all be civil cases.
So it'd make for some interesting decisions. So I guess we'll stay tuned. In the meantime, is he going to be gone from Houston for sure?
I guess nothing's. I don't.
I
know
guess
how
the NFL could always do nothing, or they could punish him somehow.
I suspect even if Houston doesn't, if they don't do anything, what they will, because they're going to cut him and get that contract money back. That the NFL will step in and suspend him until further notice.
It's going to be it's interesting. It's going to be like one giant mess.
It is already a big giant mess. Yeah,
that's why a lot of people should probably pay more attention to this just so they understand what's going on, because I've just seen the headlines and I've been too busy with the rest of my life to really get into this and to understand.
Well, there really is no more to the story right now, other than now it's up to 22. 2 dozen women have come forward alleging impropriety in his actions.
Yeah.
So he can't be the only man in the NFL either when you think about it. He's just the unluckiest one.
I don't know. Really don't know.
Well, let's talk. Let's talk about better news. Let's talk about LeBron.
Oh,
Abe, you heard about LeBron yesterday, I'm sure, didn't you?
Yes,
you
that's
are
the
trying
big
to
talk
depress
of the
me
town.
now, bringing this subject up.
He's out.
He's out.
LeBron, what do you mean he's out?
He's out.
Out of what?
Well, his ankle. He blew his ankle. He's out for an indefinite period of time now.
God.
Yeah, he rolled it. Yeah. He rolled it.
He's getting. Is it a broken ankle or is it just a torn ligament?
We don't know for sure right now, but
it's like a sprained ankle.
He played on it afterwards, so it couldn't have been broken. I think it's just sprained.
Okay, so he's out for a few games. He's out for like 5 to 10 games.
But not the way he was acting.
Well, it's not. That's not a big deal. He's not. I mean, he needs a rest. Let's face it. This guy's getting older. He's going to take more games off. As long as the Lakers can, be reasonably well positioned in the playoffs, they don't need to be number one. They're kind of, I think they're kind of resigned to that the Utah Jazz are going to be the number one team in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can be in the top 4, that's pretty good, and I think they can handle it with at least if AD's playing. It's not going to be easy. That's a loss for a few games. So.
Yep. Well, might be longer.
They're calling it a high ankle sprain,
okay.
And they don't have a return date for him yet.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
So Chab Dog's thinking it's going to be 4 or 5.
That guy's decided to buy an interest in the Red Sox, is what I heard.
Oh,
and maybe it's already happened, which doesn't excite me.
Yep. Yeah, he's going to own part of your team.
So now I'm going to have to buy the Red Sox back from him.
Mm.
That's my goal.
And then we have turning to NFL news, the Washington football team won the Ryan Fitzpatrick sweepstake.
Yes, good for them.
So that's pretty exciting news.
I love that Jesus character there.
Well, the big bearded guy.
He's got that great beard, and he's always pulling stuff out of his bag of tricks that people didn't know he had, and he's just. in a lot of ways exciting. I know he does some dumb things, some stupid things on the field, but he's fun to watch. So.
I think he's taken Washington to a nine-win season now.
Mm-hmm. If he can stay healthy, they can reasonably protect him. There's Loyola, the machine. They're going into the white guy again. Every time. Oh, he did travel.
Oh, they finally called it. That's the first travel I've seen the entire tournament.
He did. He kind of shuffled his feet. They didn't like that. But
cooker.
I think that's probably a good call. I'd have to look at it again. I think he may have. Yeah, he took a couple of steps in there. Didn't need to take that showed he was nervous.
And then, you know who won the Mitch Trubisky lottery?
Yeah, that's.
Didn't even know he was lottery. Yeah? Who won Mitch Trubisky this week?
Oh, the Bills, right?
That's right, Buffalo Bills.
Got
a good bench warmer there.
He's a good fill-in. He is a good fill-in, like, because he can actually win games. He can actually do things once in a while.
Yeah, he's better than Sam
He's
Darnold.
Better than, like,
much better than Sam Darnold
Mason
or Mason. Well, Mason Rudolph won a couple of games.
It takes not that clearly. Like a good team, he's not.
He won a couple more games than Rosen.
Yeah, he won a few.
And some in some tight spots.
I'm really not in the camp of people that thinks that he, in any way, shape, or form, can take over starting.
Well, he's no, but then a broken Ben. I guess a broken Ben is still better.
To me,
than
that would be unacceptable.
A Mason Rudolph.
I know it's going to happen soon.
Ben's going to go all crab legs on you. You know he's going to go Jameis Winston and throw more interceptions and touchdowns this year.
They got Juju back now for less money than they thought they'd have to pay him.
Well, he granted him a favor, yeah. That was awful nice of him.
And people are so grateful. And I'm like, well, if that guy just keeps his mouth shut and plays good football, that's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to give him any bozo buttons for coming back to the Steelers. I mean, a lot of those guys are overpaid. Some of them, if he wants to do it, great. But doesn't mean that I'm not going to criticize him when he does something stupid.
Mm-hmm. So is that a Super Bowl team? Steelers have a Super Bowl team now?
I don't know. I got to see what their running game looks like, and I don't know that they've made any real changes. So if their running game doesn't improve, I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm. And then in more surprising news, Carl Wentz, formerly of the Eagles, is now Carson Wentz.
Yes.
What do they call him?
Carl.
Carl Wentz?
He's not like Carl in Caddyshack. It's Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, formerly of the Eagles, is now a member of the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
So go figure.
Yes.
Will he replace? How many children does Carson Wentz have?
Carson Wentz show continues in another location. No, that's Phillip Rivers. I don't think Carson Wentz has a lot of kids.
Not yet, but this is his chance now to fill in.
Yeah. Which leads us to what clip?
Well, actually, no. Let's do the day Villanova shocked Georgetown. Since this is such an upset year.
If you go back in time, you have to remember how dominant
this is going back
the
to
whole Georgetown program
1986.
had become under John Thompson.
85 or 86. I was in college.
But they were intimidated. When they
I
walked
had a
into
psychology
someone
exam.
else's
I stayed
building,
up all night studying for that.
Came on
The
Wednesday.
next day,
played them twice already
I missed
during
the entire
season,
game, and it
they
just said
weren't looking at
Villanova
them at
won.
all. They understood how they played, and they knew what
And
they
it was
had
a
to
huge
do.
upset. Georgetown was a powerful team.
The one thing that I've always thought about that game
guy brings a
is
good
that
point.
John Thompson kept his team too far from Lexington.
Brent
The
Musket.
Hoyas stayed in Louisville, and I always thought that put them at a disadvantage before the game even started. They got caught up in a little bit of
Interesting
traffic coming down on that Monday night, and it's
Yeah,
never
it's a
good
Monday
to
night
have
game,
6'7", 6'8", 7-foot athletes sitting in
Georgetown
vans
started
waiting
slowly.
for traffic to clear so they can get to the game. I think the one thing that experts have always thought about the game is that had there been a shot clock, Villanova would not have won it. Raleigh Massimino and the coaching staff did a superb job of controlling the tempo of the game.
They're going to four corners. They're going to try to spread Georgetown out.
But if you take a stopwatch and you go back, many of their possessions would have exceeded today's 35-second shot clock.
Right now, I don't know why he would allow Villanova to hold the ball. This really plays into Raleigh Massimino's hands.
That's how it goes.
That's why we don't get the monumental upsets of a North Carolina State and a Villanova today. When you have a shot clock,
we did yesterday.
Talent wins 99% of the time.
Look at this shooting percentage against Georgetown. Both of them are playing like champions.
On the surface, it might make some sense.
I think anytime you're broadcasting a game with a big underdog, you really don't give them a realistic shot at winning until the last 3 or 4 minutes. You're always waiting for the talent to step up and take charge. But as the game wore on, it was becoming apparent that Patrick Ewing and the Hoyas were not dominating at both ends of the floor. So with about 2 minutes to go, I said they're going to pull this off.
And Villanova has moved to the brink of capturing this championship.
Villanova had done it, and you realize that it was one of the biggest upsets in the history of the NCAA tournament.
Playing the point guard.
Nobody thought they could do it. Oh, no one thought
there was a big sports article written about it.
Back when people read magazines?
He confessed to it, basically.
What, to throwing the game?
To being on drugs.
Oh, well, everyone's on drugs.
On serious drugs during the game. I mean, that's...
Oh, like
on coke. He was all coked up for that game.
Well, so was Len Tobias, and then he died a few years later.
Len Bias?
Len Bias.
Oh.
Or the year
well,
later.
I know he died of a drug overdose, yeah. So, that's a story from the past, one of the past tournaments.
Some great history there.
Yeah. So, we got... Do we have Chuck back on, or we just have...
no, we got Abe.
Abe on.
I don't think we have Chuck on. I don't know where that 818 number's coming from.
Oh, okay.
But we do have Abe.
Yeah.
And just finishing, so on the way back, Abe, did you make any more stop-ins in road stops?
Well, on the way back, we hit up an A&W on the way back. That was
an A&W restaurant?
A&W restaurant?
Those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's one of those franchises that you hardly ever see.
Did you get a Papa Burger?
You see the A&W root beer being sold, but you don't see the stores, the hamburger joints.
No, you don't.
Is that good, that place?
Teen Burger?
Is there anything special about that?
Yeah, what do you have, Abe?
In A&W, we just had the root beer floats.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's all we had.
That's all you need.
My wife had filled me up with tacos before.
Uh-huh.
So you went to the A&W for the root beer floats.
Oh, that's mandatory. You got to get that.
I would have to get the food.
No, well, that is the food. That's the best of the food you're going to get there. That's amazing. The root beer float, dude.
That's not a meal.
Well, if you're filled up with tacos, you don't need a meal. Their burger's okay.
Yeah,
but their root beer
I know, but
float's
what
not.
I'm saying is you have to actually, you have to be organized and make the effort to go to A&W for dessert.
Well, not if you're driving by.
Yeah, it was on the way back.
I had some really good. Abe, I had some really good ice cream last night for dessert. I went into the store and I looked over and it was like a miracle from God. The eggnog ice cream was 50% off. So I bought a tub of that and I had some eggnog ice cream last night.
That's Christmas leftover there, by the way.
I love that.
Oh, man. Eggnog ice cream.
Isn't that good?
You know what else good happened this week? So Chab Dog, I'm going to be rebolting on his catalytic converter here this morning after the show. But this week, finally, the Prius is fought back, Abe. And some douchebag in Anaheim was crushed under a Prius.
The Prius is going to maximum overdrive.
The Priuses went to. You ever heard of that? Abe, you ever heard of that movie, Maximum Overdrive?
Oh, Loyola of Chicago is still cooking 40.
It's still a 12-point lead.
48 to 36. They're imposing their will on Illinois. This is really scary.
This is good.
I'm sorry. Everybody's going to be rudely surprised when Loyola of Chicago comes through.
Well, there's a lot of game here. But, Abe, Maximum Overdrive?
Look at that. Oh, my God. They're dominating. Okay.
Maximum Overdrive. Have you seen Maximum Overdrive?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, it's the 1986 movie. Here's the trailer from Maximum Overdrive to celebrate the Priuses attacking the people, the thieves.
My name is Stephen King.
Look how creepy he looks.
I've written several motion pictures.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to tell you about a movie called Maximum Overdrive, which is the first one I've directed.
So nice.
Coach.
A lot of people have directed Stephen King novels and stories. And I finally decided if you want something done right, you ought to do it yourself.
Who was driving it?
I don't know.
Curtis! It's coming after us!
It was my first picture as a director. And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it. I just wanted someone to do Stephen King right.
You want a war? You
got
one.
I just want to get the hell out of here. So come and spend some time with me and my friends at the Dixie Boy.
Yeah, come and spend some time.
Spend some time in the dark.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me. I'm going to scare the hell out of you.
Oh, yeah, I remember the truck with the face.
And that's a promise.
You're going to get us in an awful lot of trouble, man.
We already in trouble.
Maximum terror.
Jesus coming and he is.
Maximum King.
Maybe tomorrow will be our world again.
Is that Emilio Estevez?
Dino De Laurentiis presents Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive.
Right up to Repo Man.
Oh, Repo Man is the best. Best work ever.
Yes, I recall. Now I remember. It's the one with the semi-truck.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and they attack the people in the Roadhouse Diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's taxi. The one people like hiding in the gas station.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Good movie. It's been a while. Thanks for jogging my memory here.
Yeah, well, the Day of the Machines.
How's Loyola still winning? How's Loyola winning?
I know.
I don't understand. It's 49-36. Are you kidding me? You know, Illinois hasn't even had the lead once in this game. Not even once.
No, this has been done coast to coast, line to line.
They haven't been within 5 points.
Wire to wire. Man, they just
Nuke the bracket. Nuke the bracket. There goes everyone's bracket. Did anybody pick? I mean, you think about it. Who picked Loyola? Did you guys pick Loyola today?
In the beginning of the show, we were talking about it. I should have picked them because I felt that they were going to do it today before they even happened because this team's experienced and they know how to perform in the finals. I mean, in the tournament. They're
Who? Illinois?
No, Loyola.
Loyola. Where did they come from? Were they here last year?
2 years ago, they were in the Final Four, or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. I always confuse them with Marymount.
Well, see, it's Loyola Chicago, not
That's
Loyola
right.
Marymount. That's just the difference.
Well, it's a big difference.
Loyola Marymount had a run like 25 years or 30 years ago.
Yay.
Remember that? I don't know if you remember. Yeah,
that's what I keep hearkening back to.
They got pretty far. I think the Final Four.
But now. There we go. Oh,
Illinois is going to make a run, though. You know, I don't think they're going to just...
within 9.
Yeah, when it gets to within like 5, then you start thinking, yeah, this could actually go the other way.
Yeah, there's
but
still...
if they can keep it around 9, 8, 7, 6
let's
even.
work the shot clock. There we go. Oh, look out.
Yeah.
Look out.
Probably working it into the big guy.
Yeah.
Now he's picking. Pay attention.
Oh, yeah. He did
They're going to work this shot clock down.
3, 2, 1.
That was a foul. They drew a foul.
Foul instead. Good play.
Illinois took the bait. And they fouled.
Yeah, he's upset, all right.
Well, you can be as upset as you want, but you fouled him.
Can't foul like that.
Oh, he got him. I was a total foul.
Yeah.
He got him completely with the arm. Handling.
You got this game on, Abe?
You watching this, Abe?
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Loyola's not going to miss their foul shots. I can tell you that much.
All right,
I even jinxed them, and it didn't work.
Didn't work.
And that, yeah. Who's the coach of Loyola? Oh, he did miss one.
Okay,
he did miss
he's
one.
50%. That's
I was able to jinx one of them.
10-point lead.
Wow. Yeah, this is going to get exciting.
I'm thinking about all those guys in the sports betting in the lounge there that were wearing their Illinois shirts.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about how much money they're losing today. Well, they're about to lose. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
This team hadn't accomplished enough to really warrant that unbridled optimism.
Yeah, but people will bet there's going to be blood in the streets. There's going to be panic in the streets.
Panic! Let's hear about Panic in the Streets. This is another movie you got to see, Abe.
Black and white.
Starring Richard Widmark.
You haven't got much time, Mr. Quinn.
Commissioner, what's the use of kidding ourselves?
Paul
We can't
Douglas.
track down an unknown killer in 2 days.
He's absolutely right, but
And
there's
Jack
only one way to
Palance.
do this. You get on the radio and panic the city? Now, wait a minute.
Herewith recorded is the story of a silent, savage menace. How for 3 days a great American city found itself outside the United States of America. The events, incidents, and emotions of the people who were a part of it, who found time running out as they looked into the face of mortal peril.
I knew you guys were crazy.
Wait a minute, Neff, wait a
Wait
minute.
for what? Somebody else to
Just
die?
watch this. Good.
You two men, listen to me. I've got something
Jack
to tell
Palance.
you.
In there, my goodness,
Yep.
he's like a kid.
What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and watch?
This is directed by Kazan.
You take a
who is
chance that I
famous
know what I'm
director.
doing and let me do
Kazan.
it. As a matter of
Got
fact, you'd help us
blacklisted.
both out if you went home and went to bed.
Okay, I'm not going to argue anymore. And I'm not going to wait until the facts penetrate that thick skull of yours. There just isn't that much time. I got to get out of here.
Paul Douglas.
Try and get back early if you can, won't you?
Ooh, get back early.
Yeah.
She wants some love in there.
Where's the other man?
Love to know
All right,
you.
come on, get out of there.
Pinky. He directed Pinky, too.
Oh, this is a great scene. Barbara Bel Geddes. Remember her? From Dallas? Grandma.
She's young
Jock's
there.
wife.
Wow.
Yeah, Barbara Bel Geddes.
Mm-hmm.
That was called Panic in the Streets, 1950. Good movie. Good movie.
Inspired by the panic of everybody who bet Illinois and is sitting in a
There is
sports book
panic in the
Las
streets
Vegas
right now.
Panic in the sports books.
Will be
These guys
panic
get
in a
their
bunch
head
of
handed.
places as the games occur today, because I think Wisconsin's got something to say to Baylor. I'm not sure Baylor's ready for that pressure cooker.
How about UCLA against Abilene Christian?
Oh.
Is there going to be an upset there?
Well, UCLA is going to win.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think there's any two ways about it.
I don't know.
They're not going to lose to a little team like that.
yeah, Abilene Christian, it was all they could do to take down Texas.
They had one guy on Abilene Christian that was like two guys. He was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
He was terribly out of shape.
But UCLA, boy, didn't they look impressive last night?
Oh, we haven't talked about it that much,
Well,
but
let's go now.
It was
Abe, you saw the UCLA game, didn't you?
That's a special team. The way that they're all stepping up because they've had some injuries. I think they're missing some people, but Jocko is really coming into his own. The Hispanic player they have.
Abe, did you see that game?
Yes, and I was expecting a little more out of BYU actually, but UCLA. It's gonna. I think it's UCLA today. I'm going with UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got that Tyus Edney clip. You could play that, get us in the mood.
I'll fire that up in a second. But UCLA. Well, back to BYU. They had. I really think their problem is they need more black players. They had one black player, and he was worth 3 of their white guys.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of black Mormons out there.
No,
there's some. Probably.
I guess they got the best. They got the best one because that guy who's on there, man, he was
the guy that reminds me of Avery Johnson. He's
a short little guy, but man,
little guy.
He would
really
jump up
fast.
and take on all the tall guys. Yeah.
Did you see that back door that they just did? Oh my God, they used
UCLA. Who's that player with the last name starts with a Z? Zakar Zukur.
Oh, on UCLA?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He was fantastic.
Some of those guys have weird names, and I just can't remember them that well.
But they've got some good haircuts too.
Oh,
Did you see some of the froze they were wearing? They were wearing last night.
Guard playing that couldn't shoot. He had the huge hair.
Well, there was the one that looked like Whoopi Goldberg, and there's the other one that looked like a piece of cauliflower. The hairdo, anyway.
I didn't like his hair. It was too much.
Well, I thought it was great, but it's just cauliflower.
It's just
Whoopi
huge.
Goldberg.
It looks like a mop on somebody's head.
Yeah, that's the Whoopi Goldberg imitation.
He couldn't shoot either. Oh, that was beautiful. The LMU, the Loyola guy just went under the basket, did a reverse,
and stayed in bounds.
Oh man, this is going from bad to worse for Illinois.
Yeah, they just can't get inside 10 points.
No, I told you, Cocky Cockburn is. He's going to score a few, but he's been kind of held under control by he's been outplayed by the other guy. It's not as basketball savvy.
So we had some wonderful news this week. Tank returned home from hospital.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And he's got a pump on his leg to
drain that.
To drain, to outer drain
he'll
everything.
Be back at work in no time. Hopefully.
Oh, he's back at work. He never really stopped. He
just can't move around a lot.
He's still doing all of his stuff from
the
test. Yeah.
My big man just took that Cocky underneath and used the backboard as a shield and got it to go.
Yeah, there's no stopping.
That was a big field goal. Oh, now they're trying to deal with him. He's big man. Cocky Cockburn.
What a year. You got Moorhead, you got Cocky Cockburn, Oral Roberts.
All we need is Ball
Mount
State.
St. Mary. Well, we had the Beavers.
We have Oregon State playing. Oregon State's still alive.
In fact, I've got breaking news here regarding Oral Roberts.
No.
Breaking news.
Leave
breaking
Oral
news.
Roberts alone. They could win. They could win their next game, and then you won't be making fun of them.
After their victory over Ohio State, Oral Roberts has announced that if they don't raise $8 million by today, God's going to come and take the team home.
Is that what religion is that?
That's Oral Roberts. That's when he used to preach. He used to.
No, but is he just?
Like
what denomination of Protestantism is he?
Oh, I thought it was Jewish. Is that Orthodox Judaism?
Yeah, right. Come on. It's like Jerry Falwell stuff.
You're more on the right track there.
Well, it's just getting worse for Illinois. I told you not to trust them.
Yep. We got UCLA to look forward to. Very talented team of young men. I'm excited to see them. Oh, and while we're on the topic here, let's circle back. Abe, you probably were, maybe you didn't hear the news about how the women have been treated in the women's NCAA tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Are you aware there's a story there?
I did see a little bit on the news that it was like there's a big difference between their weight rooms, between the men's and the women's weight rooms, the men and women's food. As far as the swag bags were concerned, like I guess
gift
the swag
bags.
that when you come in, it's different for the women as it is the men,
mm-hmm.
and I'm assuming that the picture painted that the women's basketball teams were getting the short stick on that.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly the images.
Well,
that
you know
were
what?
being
They should
presented
wise up and do them at the same freaking time, and then they can combine all the promotional activities together. They can celebrate the women's tournament while they're celebrating the men's tournament, and that would make a lot of sense to me.
But there really is no. Abe, is there any excuse for that? For short shifting the girls like that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's
people would pay more attention to it if they could watch it more easily when they're watching the stuff about the men's tournament. because right now it's just an afterthought, and it would make it easier to spend the money that needs to be spent.
Well, if they promoted it properly, sure, but that's not really that's not the NCAA. The NCAA can't. Let me put it this way:
I don't money maker.
The NCAA can't use their poor scheduling as an excuse.
Well, it's just a fact that it wasn't. They didn't look at it like they should be looking at it, and now they're going to have to. And I guess you can complain about it, and.
But even common sense. I mean,
how do you want to make it work going forward? I don't think you should just be criticizing them and not suggesting how you're actually going to make this happen.
Put the girls up in a nice hotel. Give them a great weight room. Give them swag bags, and if you got to pay for it out of your own pocket.
But
and
why
make sure.
Waste the money, and why not put something in place that naturally?
Well, then take it away. Make the men, go to quality. Make the men stay at a Holiday Inn.
The men's game is the attention grabber, and they should be piggybacking off of that more.
Okay, but you like the law. I know a rumor says that you're a pretty lawful man.
I know, but
and you might have heard of Title IX.
I don't know how much.
You ever heard of Title IX?
Money that needs to be spent is supposed to be spent by the NCAA versus the corporate sponsors.
Well, Title IX states that there should be no difference between the quality of the athletic programs between men and women.
No difference in the quality of what? Like. It's not obviously the quality is totally different. The men's game is something that I want to watch, and
no, they don't mean the quality of the competition. They mean the quality of the athletic situation provided. So, if you're going to give the men a good gym, you got to give the women an equally good gym. If you're going to give the men a top one training facility, you got to give the woman a training facility of the same thing.
If you're going to give the men away towards gift baskets and stuff.
Well, but that's part of it.
I don't think the NCAA.
That's all part of it.
The gift baskets.
No, but they need to be mindful of these things in a Title IX
things in environment. In connection with an agreement they have with the TVs. On the broadcasting side.
Perhaps. I don't know what their arrangements are. I don't care.
Okay. Well, anyway.
You seem thrilled about it.
A lot of people are starting to talk
Chad,
about
here's a chance to score points with your mom.
I know. And I never...
Instead, I'm scoring points with your mom.
I always make clear that I love my
mother.
Hey,
Mrs. Chabner.
And I listen to what she says, and I'm listening to what Eric's saying, and I agree that the money should be spent to make the women's game...
it's not going to the players. Hello.
As I guess reasonably supported as the men's game is.
Yeah. They should have equal quality.
But I'm not sure the TV contract's ever going to be equal.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's up to the NCAA then has to divide it. They collect the money.
What I want to see is more people interested in women's basketball, and I think a good way to do it would be to use the platform that the NCAA already has with the men's game. So,
well, it's a great suggestion.
Maybe they won't, because I know it's a problem, because when you put them on at the same time on TV and hold them at the same time, it's going to cannibalize some of the viewership.
It does. I don't even know when the women's is held. Is it being held right now? Was it last week? Is it next week? So I'm a horrible fan.
I think it's held after.
Is it held after? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then people will watch that.
But you could still promote it before.
Sure. You could promote it during this tournament.
Actually, it would be better, I think. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we talked about that. I don't know if we let Abe give his 2 cents on that. You don't have to. We're running out of time here, so.
We got time to talk about this. To finish this point off. Yeah. Abe, do you have any more you want to put into that idea? Title IX women.
You know what? I just the swag. These things are pennies in my mind. I mean, to give the women's team, an equal value swag bag. I mean, considering the amount of money this tournament makes, I mean, what's swag bag? I mean, that's nothing. These are pennies. Put them up in a nicer hotel.
Well, it's a little worse than a Derek Jeter gift bag, gift basket.
Yeah.
Jeter gift basket was the best.
That's called a shag bag.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the things I'm more concerned about at this time really is about filing my taxes, which I just did. Mm-hmm. And by the way, my TurboTax said after I filed it, vote Republican. That's what it's.
No, you're kidding.
A vote Republican.
That's pretty funny.
So that's
TurboTax.
We're not allowed to talk about that right now because I'm on extension and I'm, you're like, you have to do something, but you haven't done it yet, and that's
your taxes.
That's always a
talking
kind
about
of
your vote.
unsettling thought that you procrastinate.
Well, you can file for an extension, I guess, if they allow it. If the filing date's been moved to May 15th, that means your extension's moved to November 15th.
No, but you can formally request an extension. So
yes.
That's already been done.
Yes.
So I don't have to file till middle of September, middle of October.
Yes. So the heat's off for you.
Right. But I'm just saying, if psychologically, when you have to do something, that it's kind of hanging over your head.
Yeah, it is.
So there's no.
That's why Abe and I filed ours already. We're done. Nothing hanging over my head.
I'm done.
Yeah, nothing hanging over Abe's head. Yeah,
good for you. Better man than me.
I think they extended the deadline to May 15th, just as a good faith extension.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is now May 15th.
Well, that's what they're saying, a good faith. But on the reality is that they're so overworked and overlogged over there at the IRS right now.
I mean, I think
they don't have time. They won't get them done by the 30th.
It could be extended another month or two before we're all said and done.
It takes them a long time to process things right now. Yeah, they're working hard.
And so many things were changed last year. I mean, with people's incomes and
tax as well, and then even the last bill.
So
made the first $10,000 of unemployment earnings non-taxable.
So I guess the IRS is going through the same hell that we're going through on a daily basis.
Exactly. Yeah, they can't really take work home with them because it's our tax returns.
And until we get a hold of this virus, and it's going to be more economic interference.
Yeah, but we're getting closer.
Okay.
More people are getting vaccinated. And
we are.
More people are saying no more, no masks.
I think we're going to sign off with a good song from the Eagles, which plays off the title of the show. This is called "The Good Day in Hell." Was this off of the Long Run?
I don't know where this came originally from, but it is a memorable tune.
It's one of their. Well, I love the Eagles, and some of their less played stuff is the stuff I like.
Okay,
but this song's gotten some notoriety.
Well, on the door out, I want to just say shout out to Loyola Chicago. That's mine. And Abe, you got a shout out here on the way out the door?
Shout out to my poor bracket.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to give a shout out to the Crimson Tide in the finals versus the Houston Cougars. That still could happen.
Mm-hmm. Houston Cougars, yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's still alive.
I have a weird feeling.
Let's go Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas, sure.
Jayhawks.
Put that in the bank, yeah. Bet the farm on that.
They're too distracted by Les Miles.
Next game's going to be telling. USC's got something planned for them.
Well, another great show, gentlemen.
Thank you for a great show. Thank you, Chuck Sabalka, for calling in, giving us his 2 cents on college basketball, and have a glorious day in hell. I'm going to. College basketball all day long.
Bracket hell.
Including the imminent demise of Illinois.
And Kansas.
Don't say that. All right. So long.